Hello students, today we are going to see the lesson A Polar Explorer. So here in this photo we can see that the snow had fallen, the winter, the ice is there, the place, the polar side of the region, okay? That is the region side and the climates so wintry and it is so temperature is high or cold. So based on this we are moving on the lesson. A Polar Explorer, the polar region, okay? It is very snow and it is so much cloud, so much winter temperature was so lower degree, okay? Now we will be moving on the some of the words meaning, okay? Words meaning, afterwards we'll come to the lessons, okay? Caribou, the reindeer, and disputed, disagreed with, and enriching and surrounding expedition, a journey by a group of people with a clear aim to explore Inuit, previously seeing the people who live in an Arctic region, okay? And Norway, a country in northern Europe, and obey to do what you have been told to do by someone in charge. And also the capital of Norway is a place name, is a capital name is a Australius, the deliberate and obviously displayed and pacific and peaceful perseverance, persistence to doing something despite difficulties or delays. Okay, these are the words meanings, and now we are going into the lessons. Okay, now we will moving on the lessons. A polar explorer, and it is based on the Roald Amundsen, isn't it? So he was a very explorer. He was want to become an explorer, and he was participating in all the school sports even, and he had received a lot of achievement in his life. Okay, the Roald Amundsen was born in Norway in 1872. As a child, he read about the famous British explorers. So while reading the explorers books, he was one of the famous books are there. A lot of famous persons are there in explorers. So he was reading the book and he was getting a lot of inspiration with them. So he wanted to become like kind of an explorer. So he joined as many sports team in court. He slept with his windows wide open. So he was just adapted into that kind of climate. So the winter, when during winter season, when you go to the polar region, it is so much snow, so there so much ice will be there. So it will be so temperature is in low degree. So how he was just adapting to that situation, he was adapting the situation, he is putting on the windows and windows and sitting there, and now we can see that so that he would be fit, okay, strong and ready if he got a chance to be an explorer. So he was making a fit on his body to become a figure. And Amundsen family worked in a shipping industry, but his mother wanted him to avoid the danger of life at sea, so she encouraged him to be a doctor. So actually his mother wanted to become a doctor, and because he wanted to avoid the dangerous life in the sea, so she wanted to become a doctor. So he obeyed his mother's wishes while continuing to read about explorer. But even though he was studying in university to become a doctor, but he did not lose his spirit to become an explorer, but he was still continuing to read about explorer. When he was 21 years old, his mother was died. Okay, when he was 21 years old, his mother was died, and Amundsen left the university and began his life as an explorer. So still until his mother was alive, he was to become a doctor, as well as he was reading about some of the books or some of the inspiration book about the explorer. And now we can see some of his achievement. You have received a lot of achievement, and in early prediction, Amundsen was a part of a crew. He watched, listened, and learned some useful skill once his ship trapped. So he was still going on reading some of the books while he was studying as a doctor. Okay, he did not lose his spirit, but he wanted to become an explorer. Okay, he was adapted to his body fit for that. He was participating all the sports even in the school, as well as he was just putting open his window. Always he's putting open windows, and he was get into that kind of temperature, and he was received a lot of achievement. In ice, he observed how to doctor hunting skill provide the crew with a fresh meat and kept him free from screw. Okay, when he was 28 years old, Amundsen became a leader and predicted expedition with his own ship and Goja. The ship is still on the display at the Frame Museum in Seoul. So he was just become a captain for the leader for the ship. Okay, that is one of the greatest achievement in his life to become a ship captain for that the explorers activities. So it's one of the greatest and things. So no one can become like that. So how does it be caused? The diseases. Okay, diseases caused by lack of vitamin C. So, vitamins are in the part of our life, isn't it? Some of the situation we are seeing a lot of sickness we get, more diseases we are falling into that because we don't have the sufficient vitamin in our body. So he was facing that one, and it can lead to the illness and loss of teeth and death from the bleeding. Okay, but since they were tried to overcome from the diseases to getting a vitamin C. Okay, and he was 28 years old and became the leader of the expeditions with his own ship. So that is one of the greatest. Okay, he was becoming leadership for the ship. Okay, that is one of the greatest achievements to become an explorer. His spirit made him to become a leader for that. To become a leader, it is not a simple things in our life. Okay, and the next part of the story, from 1903 to 1906, Amundsen took a crew on the 6th man of the Goja and expeditions to find a route through the Northwest Passage. And the Northwest Passage is the name of the sea route through the Arctic Ocean from the Atlantic of the Pacific due to the very cold temperature. So it is very cold temperature. It is northwestern Canada. Okay, north of Canada is land, around the land of the north Canada. It is a very cold climate there. Okay, it's very cold climate. So the ice will be there. I know when you say the cold climate. So it can be very, so only one who are adapted to that temperature only can be survived there. So as soon as we go there and stay there, I think for 1 week or 2 weeks, so we not be able to do the things because we are not adapted to that climate, okay, that temperature, that kind of temperature. So he was in from the small numbers. He was just trying to practice to make his body fit for the temperature. He putting on the windows and getting into the temperature. Okay, that was one of the very positive kind of his part, and we can see that the Goja was small enough to pass through these waters and over the shallows areas that would have the wrecked big ship. And during the winter, when his ship was frozen into ice, the crew watched the Inuit people who lived there to pick up the important Arctic survival skills such as using the dogs and the travel by the sledge, and these were useful the later expeditions to the North Pole. Amundsen also shocked the fern and wear and was warm and then the woolen. So he wrote his because it is an autobiography. He made a quote that my life as an explorer. Okay, my life, and his glorious victory awaits him who has everything in order. Okay, that is what his quote. But he was a really struggled person. When you look at his life, actually his mother wanted to become a doctor as well as he did not lose his spirit for become a doctor. But then he still continued to make a research for the explorer. So his mother is saying that when you go to sea, it's so dangerous, isn't it? So your life is to make away death because it's too cold. His mother don't want to take that kind of adventure to his life to make a safe in his life. His mother was requesting him to become a doctor, but then he did not lose his spirit to become an explorer. But while studying the university also, he was still continuing and going on researching on based on the explorers. He was reading a lot of books. Okay, how can become an explorer? That is one of the most greatest things that you need to see in your life. So how we also have a lot of goals and achievement in our life, isn't it? So how does we adapt to that? As well as when you were ship and when you in the sea in the northern part of the Canada, there is a very cold place, and the snow was falling in that in the beginning of the Plus, I have shown for some of the photos. The ice is falling down from the sky, and it is very, very temperature is very minus degree. Okay, the minus degree will be there, and how we can be adapted to that kind of situation. That is one of the main things. So he was from the school onwards. He was trying to become an explorer, and he had a dream become an explorer. So he was practicing. He was participating all the sports event. Why he was participating all the sports event? To adapt his body language to that way, to adapt to the situation to that way. So he was getting into that kind of mentality to his body. So his body also involved in that kind of fitness, to have a fitness for that. And he was putting on the opening the windows and sitting to get a temperature, to involve the nature, to maybe become and getting a temperature to make a fit for his body. From the small onwards he was trying to become an explorer, but his mother was not agreed, because the life is very in danger. That is what's one of the things that mother was not agreed to become an explorer. So he was facing a lot of challenges during explorer. But then he was the spirit made him to make such a dangerous and successful finally. It was maybe the first attempt in 1925 was dangerous and unsuccessful. Finally in 1926 Amundsen made the North Pole. Three other people claimed separately to have got North Pole and Amundsen, but all of them have been disputed. Okay, Amundsen's skills or perseverance made him the first person to able to claim that he had been both the poles. He said that his success comes from the proposed preparation and having the appropriate equipment. Okay, so he said that, so only how does he was achieved. So he said that only the preparation made him to achieve. Okay, first attempt they got failed, but then second attempts he made an effort that because he was preparing from the small onwards to become an explorer. That preparation that had made him, the perseverance that he had made him to finally have a successful achievement. And he said that victory waits him who has everything in order. Okay, Amundsen wrote about his experience in his autobiography. He said, my life as an explorer. So how does he was taken serious into that context? Okay, that is very, very important that we need to understand. So he said that that is my participation. His preparation made him to become a very good explorer and who has successful achievement. A lot of failures may be faced in your life. So what we need to understand from this chapter, okay, that is very important. We also face a lot of struggles and in our life, but then we should how we are overcome from that. The challenges we are facing in our life, we should have a very good explorer. Okay, we should explore in our life that we need to understand my life as an explorer. That is a very good autobiography from Roald Amundsen. Okay, thank you.